If you want to experience the absolute worst traffic on the planet, you skip Los Angeles and Beijing, and you go to Metro Manila. To understand the economic devastation of this gridlock, consider two numbers. An average commuter here loses 117 hours every year staring at the bumper in front of them, and the city bleeds 3.5 billion Philippine pesos every single day in wasted fuel and lost productivity. The simplest explanation you'll hear for this is a basic imbalance of supply and demand. As this chart transitions, you can see a massive column representing the metropolis, trying to force 3.6 million vehicles into a tiny road network of just 5,000 kilometers. Take the city's main artery, EDSA. It was designed to handle 300,000 cars a day, and today it chokes on over 400,000. But blaming this entirely on an overabundance of cars misses the actual problem. The Philippines sold nearly 500,000 new vehicles in 2024, and pouring more concrete isn't fixing the daily gridlock. The real reason this crisis presents an unsolvable equation is that the city's physical geometry is broken. A functioning urban environment requires connectivity. This diagram shows a perfect city grid. Notice how if one intersection is blocked, traffic pressure organically diffuses through dozens of parallel streets, much like water flowing through a highly porous sponge. Metro Manila actually had a comprehensive grid system drafted in 1905, but the brutal urban warfare of World War II virtually erased it. The city was left to rebuild haphazardly. Instead of a continuous grid, the capital now relies on a semi-web-like network of circumferential and radial roads, but the system is fractured. This map of Manila's radial road network highlights what urban planners call missing links. Watch how Circumferential Road 3 physically misses a massive section connecting Quezon City to Makati, and Circumferential Road 5 literally breaks at an expressway before randomly restarting. Because there is a catastrophic lack of secondary connecting roads, millions of vehicles are violently funneled directly into these incomplete highways. It is the geometric equivalent of designing a massive skyscraper but forcing all 10,000 employees to use a single narrow hallway to reach their desks. If the highways are failing, the logical solution is building parallel secondary roads to bridge those gaps. However, the government's path is blocked by a defining feature of Manila's geography: walls. Look at this macro map of Metro Manila. We've blocked out exactly 20% of its landmass. That entire highlighted area is occupied by massive, exclusive gated communities, known locally as villages or subdivisions. These hyper-exclusive estates, some matching the geographic footprint of entire small towns, are legally protected private domains. Public roads are legally prohibited from piercing them, turning these neighborhoods into impenetrable concrete dams. If we trace a commuter's route on this diagram, you can see the impact. A short, straight-line path is blocked by a 250-hectare gated village, forcing the driver to navigate kilometers out of their way, ultimately dumping their car right back onto a failing artery like EDSA. Elite residents consistently crush proposals to selectively open these gates, prioritizing their own personal security over metropolitan mobility. As a result, the city is literally strangled by its own premium real estate. This physical fragmentation is reinforced by a political structure pulverized into 17 distinct local government units and hundreds of micro-governments called barangays. When the national government tries to designate alternate secondary routes to bypass the congested highways, those routes often cut directly through residential barangays. In response, local captains arbitrarily erect boom gates, implement localized parking ordinances, and even allow entire barangay halls to be built directly on the road to keep outside traffic out. Unable to punch through the walled subdivisions or bypass the barricaded barangays, the national government resorted to the only direction left: up. They poured billions of dollars into massive elevated expressways like the Skyway, designed to fly directly over the gridlock. When it opened, the Skyway cut a 2-hour commute down to 20 minutes, but a concept called induced demand kicked in. The fast new route incentivized commuters who used to take the bus to buy cars and hit the road, quickly filling the new highway back to the exact same congestion level. Worse, they triggered Brace's paradox. This network flow diagram illustrates the mathematical concept, which proves that adding a new shortcut to a network can actually increase total travel time for everyone. Because drivers act selfishly to minimize their own commute, everyone rushes to the new center shortcut line at once, causing it to stall entirely. In Manila, drivers overutilize the skyway, creating massive bottlenecks at the exit points, where the elevated highway forcefully dumps cars back into the narrow, unexpanded local roads below. By attempting to cheat the city's geometry with an elevated shortcut, they mathematically guaranteed worse travel times for the local network on the ground. Because the high tolls are largely unaffordable for the average Filipino motorist, the skyway effectively functions as a fast lane for the wealthy elite. The vast majority of the population remains trapped in the chaotic, slow-moving lanes on the ground. Billions of dollars have been spent on concrete solutions, yet the foundational geometric crisis below the overpasses remains completely unsolved. Metro Manila is the profound architectural consequence of a city that prioritized private security, exclusive real estate, and localized micropolitics over holistic urban planning. You cannot toll your way out of a broken equation. Without public connectivity, a city is mathematically designed to fail.